So talk to me about the tattoo.
It's a sci-fi action comedy adventure, and it takes place in sort of like this futuristic war, and everybody gets barcodes, and so we all got our barcodes to represent the film tonight.
Wow. Wait a minute. So is this permanent or is it like henna, something that can come up?
It's permanent. That's how we roll. It's big. Like we go big or we don't go. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, because we're pressed for time, just give me 3 reasons that people should see this film.
To have fun.
To have hope.
To have a great night.
Well, I wanted 3 reasons from each of you. That was cheating. So, yeah, give me your 3 reasons.
My 3 reasons. Let's see, love,
okay.
entertainment,
Okay.
movies.
Love, entertainment, and movies. Okay, Taj, what about you?
I'm going to say light, heart, and faith.
All right. So there you go. 3 good reasons.
This is why he walks out front. Because
Oh, come on, beautiful. All right. You look amazing, by the way. I mean, just. Thank you. Oh, wait a second. And you have heart. See, peep the barcode.
I got it all.
So talk to me a little about getting involved with film. You know, you're a woman in this industry. They don't make it easy for us.
No.
Yeah, so.
Really, really good because of that. We work so much harder. You know?
So what do you say to young women who want to do this?
Be yourself no matter what. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. It's all it matters is just be you. That's it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lauren. I really appreciate that. Exit strategy. It kind of seems like, you know, to me that's kind of a theme when we think about this candidacy, this president that we're having. Everybody's trying to think of like an exit strategy. So why the title for this particular film?
We wanted, it's a time travel movie, so we kept thinking of like time maze or something, the time in the title, and we decided that was so dumb, but it's kind of like they are trying to escape a metaphorical maze or something they're stuck in, so exit strategy sounded cooler than time tunnel.
Wow, so what was the shooting process like for this particular project?
It was
like in terms of the time, like what was the schedule? Did you guys have like, you know, a short amount of time? Because it's a short,
right.
But still there's all this effort that has to go into it. So what was that like?
It was fast. I think we shot the whole thing in 3.5 days. It was 23 pages, and we just had to keep going from, you know, setup to setup, and we got through it all and ended up with 15 minutes. But yeah, it wasn't too easy.
So, you know, that's a good teaching moment there. So 23 pages was actually 15 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, I have a tendency to write long because I also edit, and so I like to make kind of choice in the edit and post on what the story's exactly going to turn out. So I like to kind of shoot more and then kind of fine-tune the story in post. So when I have time, I like to shoot more.
Makes sense, actually. So what is your message to young filmmakers who want to get into this business, who don't really understand the nuances and all the, you know, the difficulty that it takes sometimes even to put together, you know, a short film and then have it enter the Tribeca Film Festival? I mean, this is a big deal, right?
Yeah, I think it's make sure you have a good story, because I think now it's not as hard to make things look good. That's still tricky, but I think people come in without a good story or without good actors, and I think that's harder. So if you have a solid script and a story, that's more important, I think, than it looking incredible or whatever, or having a high budget, is a story that works.
Okay, so 3 reasons why someone should go watch this film. I mean, we have so many options today, right? I mean, this festival is just like chock full of amazing projects. So why should someone go out and see this film? Give me 3 good reasons.
Okay. It's a really good time loop movie that changes, kind of like, it has a refreshing ending for a time loop type movie. Let's see. The acting is really superior by the stars, Chris O'Shea and Richard Cronke. And I think it's probably the only movie that references Chocolate Lucky Charms, the cereal, which is a great
Oh my
cereal.
goodness.
Yeah, so we reference some really great children's cereal in the movie, and I don't think you're going to get that from any other film in Tribeca.
One of my favorite shows growing up was actually Quantum Leap.
Oh, that's great. I love that. That was one of mine, too.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward. I didn't get a chance to see this in its entirety, but I'm definitely excited based off of what I know about, you know, Quantum Leap and time travel and like Back to the Future and all that other stuff. So continue blessings and success to you. Thank you so much. You're quite welcome. All right, so talk to me about encouraging more women to work in film behind the scenes as a director. as a producer. I think not many women understand what those roles are. So talk to me first about what it means to be a producer.
As a producer, we're finding content, we're financing content, we're putting all the pieces together to make it. And there's so many other roles like directing. I do a short every year, and I try to encourage it to be either like I've done some with Zach's wife, Frankie Shaw, who I work with a lot, is a good friend of mine, and I'm doing another one currently with a female director and female content. And I try to do one every year to promote female filmmaking in general.
Every year. So how long does it take you to do your shorts typically?
Not very long, a couple weeks, yeah. So
That's it?
I'm casting one now that I'll shoot this summer. I'll do one every summer with the young female filmmaker that I think is really talented. And Zach is an old friend of mine who I love, and he really promotes female filmmaking. He's a producer on SMILF, the TV show, and he's a writer on it. So I adore him, and I think he's great. And so I wanted to
Talk to me about what encouraged you to get into filmmaking.
I had always really wanted to make a film, and even in high school, we made short films. We all went to NYU. There's a big group of us, and I was one of the few who actually stuck it out and actually continued to do it. So
what is that one film you saw that was like, oh, you know what, I want to do this. I really want to do that.
I mean, there's one Cassavetes movie, not John, his son, that's called She's So Lovely. It's like a, yeah, it's a really, really cool, really dark comedy, and Sean Penn's in it, and Robin Wright is in it, and John Travolta. It's a really crazy movie. And
John Travolta, that's like some serious talent.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing movie.
So the film that you have coming up, not the one that's showing in Tribeca, but the one that you have that you're working on now, what is that one about?
That one is about a young mother who has a miscarriage, and it's like she has a miscarriage, but then she kind of has these moments where she sees her son at age 9, age 20, age 30, and it's like she has these experiences with them that help her in the grieving process. And so many people don't talk about miscarriage, they don't talk about like losing a child, and especially at that kind of stage in pregnancy. So I thought it was a really interesting perspective, and the director had lost her mother, so she was using this as like a way to kind of speak to her mother. It's a really beautiful full circle story.
So I've been asking all these amazing women directors and producers just about what it's like working behind the scenes, and to kind of get that out, because so many women, especially young women, want to work in front of the camera. You know, so talk to me about what inspired you to work behind the scenes.
Actually, I'm a physician, and making a film is a lot like being in an operating room in a way. Everyone has their job, and it's the same dynamic energy, and we all have a singular goal, and that really appealed to me as a filmmaker. So I find that making a film is a lot like performing surgery. Yeah.
That's so crazy to go from like. So
it's actually a pretty smooth transition, oddly. There's a lot in common with, you're telling, physicians, a patient history is telling a story. And that's what we do, is we tell a story in film as well. So there's a lot in common with medicine and filmmaking.
So getting this film to Tribeca Film Festival, that's a pretty big deal.
A huge deal, huge. I feel so honored to be here, and I'm just so grateful that we were selected.
So what was that process like? Of course you submitted. Were you encouraged to submit, or did you say, okay, I'm going to do this film, and then I'm going to submit it to every possible film festival I know that's on the planet and see what happens? Or, did you have a team behind you helping push you to Tribeca? Like, talk to me about that experience.
Well, we originally just wanted to make a film, and we wanted to make the best film that we could. And so it was a process, and of course it was a huge team. No film gets made by one person. So once we realized we had a good film, we started submitting to multiple festivals, and we didn't ever dream that we would be accepted to Tribeca, but we're just over the moon about it. So
give me 3 reasons why someone should watch your film.
Well, 3 reasons. It's really well written. I didn't write it, but it's very well written, and it also it really addresses some of life's most compelling questions. So I think that alone is a really good reason.
Thank you so much for your time. Continue blessings and. So I'm loving this, I call it the divine feminine that has been ushered in with, you know, women being at the helm. Talk to me about being a woman filmmaker and encouraging other women to kind of follow suit and not focus so much on being in front of the camera, but behind the camera.
Yeah, actually behind the camera, I think it's really a big value, and it's really important for the female community that there are much more producers out there, and they are doing like this film business, and they are, you know, like as at the Academy Award already, they have said before that there must be more women in the future, that we are not like behind the scenes anymore, that we are shown and we are there.
So what made you want to work behind the scenes? Like, what was it for you? Was there a particular film that you saw? Was there a particular director that you've been a huge fan of? Like, what made you want to become a filmmaker?
Yeah, actually, I think it's something like, I think I want to gathering people together, and I think it's a really big thing when you're like trying to manage and organize something, and then afterwards you can see it on the big screen, and when you see that a team is building up and that everybody likes that job. For me, it's a big thing if you are a producer, that you really can see this kind of passion out there, and then a film is like gonna fit together. I think it's something which really values for me, and that's the reason why I'm doing this kind of job. So,
well, give me 3 good reasons why someone should go see your film.
Actually, first, our film is a sci-fi, and I think there are 2 less sci-fi out there. The second reason is that I think our film is something has a topic which I think it's really important, because it is ask the question what happens in the future when they let's say AI is gonna take over our community, and yes. And the third reason is because our images are really great. We had really great DOPs out there, and I think it's a really big picture, and we have great images and a nice story, and I think that's the reason why people are gonna have to watch it.
What are some of the technological advances that we have today that help in your filmmaking and your storytelling?
Actually, it was really important that we had, let's say, we had a big team who is doing all the post-production stuff. It's was a really big issue for us to solve that. Our directors, they both were working for Roland Emmerich already on big productions, so they have a really they have experience on that. I think that's the reason why our film looks like that, in that way. And I think that's why our, let's say, our post-production, our VFX was really so nice, well done. So I think it's a reason why people should watch it. So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time.